through the teeth. Like, I can see it. Like, Chep and I are just laughing. You're like, are you sure? They're like, no, but I'm like, Chep, tuache kutubeba. They are carrying us children.
Yes.
Waache kutubeba children. Anyway, so let's come to the conversation, because now you see, now one person said, oh, let's talk about, and you don't talk about Kenyan football. We spoke, you answered, you said nothing. So now let's move on to, maybe you'll talk about it. So the people who want to boast about the friendly, it's your turn.
Yes. Okay.
Arsenal United, big friendly in the US. The stadium was sold out.
Yes, Medfield Stadium.
Yes.
Where the New York Giants play.
Yes.
New Jersey.
It was okay. Now from a Manchester United view, I think Elijah will talk about Arsenal. It was clear that Erik ten Hag was going to use two different formations, and the first formation was the starters. The starters, everyone would expect them to play in the Premier League once it comes, and it follows other victories that you've had in the preseason. So we were just looking at how they would react, and to be honest, the standout kid there was Kobe Mainoo and how he played that game. Because I think if you are thinking about it, maybe last season you're thinking about Manchester United being the ones who are conservative, they are a bit more pragmatic, but United showed some intent early on. It was good to see Lisandro Martinez back, and he had some moment there with Odegaard, put him in his place. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was brilliant also on the right hand side, and then I think it was good to see that we are operating well with Sancho right now. I know he didn't have a good period at the end of last season, but he showed that he can do the job there. And of course, Tom Heaton, we saw something about playing goalkeepers, and I think that is a ceiling we should expect with Onana. Now he's coming to the team. So first reflection of first half, brilliant game. The second half was a little bit more different with a changed lineup. Harry Maguire got his opportunity. It's good to see that he's maintaining his stance as a professional. Played well there. A few clatters there with Odegaard. But then I'm looking at it and saying 3 games, 3 wins, 0 goals conceded. Brilliant start to the preseason by Manchester United.
I mean, it's just the preseason. For crying out loud, Sammy, man. It's the preseason. And you guys played like it was a Champions League final.
No. You played like a Champions League final. You didn't show up.
Lisandro Martinez tackling as if he's fighting for his life. Yeah, but it's just a friendly. I mean, don't hurt people, man. It's never that serious. But let's talk about Arsenal. I think that the boys were just lethargic. That's all. I mean, they just didn't turn up. I would want to, understand the aim for that particular match from Arteta's point of view. But I just felt like it was just about getting minutes for the boys. And that's what they did, If you look at the goals, there were 2 errors and there were 2 goals. We didn't create that much, and I'm not too concerned because I know what we are capable of. And I of course I am disappointed with Kai Havertz, to be honest. But
what are you expecting from Kai Havertz? Let's have a more logical conversation. What is it you want from Kai?
Okay,
or where do you want him to slot?
Yes.
From my point of view, I want to give Mikel Arteta the benefit of the doubt because he has earned it. All right. So when he came to Arsenal, we were not in a good place with Granit Xhaka. But he managed to change him and slot him in a position where he wasn't familiar and he played well. And of course, with Martin Odegaard, he did the same. He came to Arsenal, he wasn't that good, but now he took his game to the next level.
No. With Odegaard, you guys just didn't get it.
But
with Odegaard, you just didn't get it. Those of us who like football are a bit new. We knew the class that there is.
Yeah, but
we knew the class that there is, but Arsenal fans needed to be convinced.
Yes. Now, here we are in another position where we have Kai Havertz, where we paid a lot of money for him. I don't know why we paid that amount of money for him, but I want to give the coach the benefit because he has shown that he can transform players.
That's Elijah.
So now, I'm getting to my point.
Elijah, just get to the point. What do you expect from Kai Havertz? Arteta, Arteta is great. We'll have Arteta.
That's how I get to my point.
No. Let's get to the point quicker. Please.
Okay.
There is other opinions I want to hear from.
Now,
yes,
with Kai Havertz, I just want him to play in the Odegaard role.
But you have Odegaard.
So why
listen. Let me finish.
No, no, you just explain.
Yeah.
No, we've just
Yeah.
asked, but you have Odegaard. So
now,
tell us.
Now the issue is, last time without Odegaard, if Odegaard wasn't there, we weren't creating any chances. So I wanted somebody who could slot in terms of squad depth.
Hold on.
Because to be honest,
Hold on, quickly. Yeah, good. What Teddy has asked. So in your mind, Arsenal paid 65M for a replacement. Just a simple yes or no?
Yeah.
It's a for replacement.
There's not a replacement per se.
No, but you just said don't replace Odegaard.
Not replace.
So what do you want from what?
I said to play Odegaard role in
But okay, so yes, but for you to, and that's what Teddy and I are asking. So if it's to play Odegaard's role and Odegaard plays all the time, so in essence you want him as a replacement. That's what we've asked.
You can't play all games.
No, at this point we are in the yes or no. So you said. Chep, am I understanding him? Okay,
I said he's not coming to start.
Chep,
even me, I'm lost.
We are saying look,
let me
so he's not coming to start.
He's not coming to start.
He's on the bench.
On the bench.
I would prefer him on the bench.
No. Yes, we are talking about what Elijah likes.
Yeah.
So according to Elijah, Kai is here. He's to sit on the bench. He's to be Odegaard's replacement.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to confirm from you. What you expect from him? Let me hear from Chep. No, that's all I wanted to confirm. Where are you placing?
It's a matter of squad depth. Let's look at what City did with, for example, with KDB. At some point, KDB wasn't playing. You need that depth. You look at your defense, for example. All right, for Manchester City.
Yeah.
I think the guy who had the most number of games was Ake.
Yeah.
No, Akanji, and he played 24 games in the Premier League.
So in
If
essence,
you look at our defense, we had Gabriel Magalhaes. He played 37 or 38 games. Now, and the biggest undoing for Arsenal last season is that we were good for 70%.
Okay,
of the season,
so
but we didn't have depth.
given your point is Kai is on the bench, so you are okay. Like, so you don't have this high expectation people are talking about now, where they are saying, "Come on, what is he doing? Why is he not doing?" So that's.
As I said earlier, I do not know why we paid that amount of money for a person who's not going to come to become a starter. I do understand that in the first 11, he is in the front three. He is the player with the least value, in my opinion. If you look at Martinelli, if Arsenal sell Martinelli, you are selling him for £80 million and above. Same to Odegaard, same to Saka, same to Gabriel Jesus.
Jesus cannot go for 80.
Okay,
Not
maybe
enough.
70.
Nowhere. Even 70.
No.
I doubt he'd get you 50. The 50 you spent on him.
I mean, he only had 1 year left on his contract. So
I doubt
think-
you'd get him 50.
I think we would get a good amount of money, considering if Arsenal maintain this the level that they had
Maybe
last
Okay,
season.
so
So my biggest issue is he could come and play that number half 8 role where Xhaka was playing last season, but he needs to be more physical. And we need to feel his presence because yesterday he couldn't retain the ball where Xhaka used to retain the ball higher up in the field on the left side.
Okay.
Let me say something. I
Yes.
think when Arsenal went for Havertz, and I remember even I talked to you, to Kidogo, tukipata uko nje about it. My worry with Arsenal going for Havertz, you pay 65M for a player that you really don't know where you're going to fit him.
Not we. Mikel Arteta knows where he's going to fit him.
you
But
see,
as fans, we do not know.
all
But
Chep
Mikel is the one who wanted him.
Because even at Chelsea, he played as a false 9 at Chelsea, which wasn't working. Or maybe we can say maybe that the team was the problem, or but it wasn't working. But now coming to Arsenal for 65, first for me, my expectation is this is not a bench player, this is a starter. I think from yesterday's game, he played in the left side of the midfield. Mm-hmm. I think he might be playing there. I don't think he's going to be a bench player. I think he has to play. For that amount of money, for Arsenal, as you don't have a luxury like Manchester City,
The financial muscle.
like Manchester United. You don't have that luxury of spending 65 million and bringing in a player that is going to warm the bench. So I think he's going to play. As much as you are complaining now, the left side of the midfield, Arteta will just put him there, force him there, until he makes it work. I don't think he's going to be a bench player.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
whole
there's
whole
that
debate
for
has
sure.
been about when we saw Arsenal sign Timber, we knew where he was going to play. When they signed Rice, we knew where he was going to play. But as for Kai Havertz's case, we are like atacheza wapi.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I get you when you say Arteta will make something out of it, but
I'm
from what
just
we've
giving him
seen,
the benefits.
from what we've seen, hatuoni.
Sammy?
Well, I would agree with Hilda on the sentiment she's talked about, because when they brought in Havertz, my idea was he was going to be a Xhaka replacement. Now that's a high ceiling, if at all that's what you're going to expect from him. I had some questions on him defensively, and I think it was shown yesterday. There were moments where he wasn't just available there, he wasn't present there, and they found a way past him. So that has got to be the thing that he works on, but I think he's a starter. He'll play on the left-hand side, albeit with Mikel Arteta making a change in the second half. He brought on Partey, so it'd be interesting to see if the Rice-Partey combo can work.
Now, this is what I think. First, Kai was bought to start. You don't spend 65 million for a guy to sit on the bench. This is Chelsea and Kukurea all over again. You are buying him to start. The question is where, and that was my first question throughout the whole negotiation. I kept saying, where is he going to play in? And then I was sent all these nice links. Thank you so much, everyone who sent me links of where he's going to play, the 8 role, his versatility. And Sammy was there with the Leverkusen days. He used to join in the box later. And I kept saying, I'm not quite sure where he sits. Now, I haven't seen what he did yesterday. So I'm just thinking Arsenal have to find a way to use him, and I don't think you spend 65 for a bench player. You spend 40 for a quality bench player like Timber, not 65.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think Arsenal have to find a way. The kind of money they spend for a guy who they think will start. Also, they don't have Xhaka. Now, I am in a very school of thought that believes if Thomas Partey is fit and he's at Arsenal, he's one of the first names on the team sheets next season. I am in a very small group of team that thinks whatever Arsenal do, Uncle Tom, if he's fit, he plays.
Yes.
It's a question of does he get into that Xhaka role so that it's Xhaka and it's Partey and Rice, the way they played last season? And if he slots in that role, what happens to Kai Havertz?
Yes.
I think those are some of the questions. I think the difference between the Arsenal this season and last season was because last season, everything was pretty much straightforward.
Yeah, defined.
You knew, thank you.
That's the team sheet.
Like you knew who plays. The only question was who plays right back, whether Ben White plays right back or Tomiyasu plays right back. But most of the other, and Zinchenko versus Tierney. Those are the only maybe questions. But the rest of the team was pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Now they've added quality, and I think now it needs you to answer a few other questions that maybe people aren't thinking they would have to answer now. So for me, that's it. So it's, where does he play? What's his actual position? I know he played in Chelsea as a false nine, but I maintain he was forced to play as a false nine because Chelsea needed a big guy to stand huko mbele. Sema huko mbele ujaribu kushikilia ball.
Yeah.
They needed their own version of Vaghorst. You know, some guy who stands at the front, and Kai was the easiest to stand at the front. But what is his position? Is he strong enough? Is he quick enough? Is he aggressive enough? Does his motor go well? I think those are the questions Arsenal have to feed. But I don't know what people think. Maybe you should tell us. The hashtag is the football fix. Where do you think Kai Havertz should play? Where does he fit in this new age, all strength in depth Arsenal team? You know, where does he fit now that they have a lot more different things than they had before? And I'm not sure.
Yes.
I honestly am not sure. I'm not sure where to play him. I feel like
and that's a problem of those type of players we say with their versatile.
Yes.
Because it's now difficult to pin a position or to be so good in one position. Because if you're versatile, leo uko huku, kesho the coach thinks, you know what, let me play him here, play him there. So as you grow, it's difficult for a player to get to pin or be good or be very good in one position.
Such positions should be left to players like Milner. They're the only guys who know
because he's never going to be a star.
Yes.
You see the key thing, he's never going to be a star. So he any Kiraka. In football we call them Kiraka.
He's not
Kiraka,
going
he plays anywhere and needs to be played.
He's not even going to stand out kwa team. He's not going to be maybe that superstar.
Because guys, we've had so much conversation about guys who was talking about him as soon as we started the show. Okay, Havertz was bad. No, I didn't watch, so I can't say he was bad or good. But I'm like, maybe there's a question there. That's why I asked Elijah, where does he envisage him playing? Because Elijah was king in tweeting and telling us the way he's now a new home, he's smiling better, he's happy better, he's
Jemo, the thing with this current Arsenal side is that you have very many variations in how you can play. So we can play with Rice and Partey, like a 4-2-3-1, Rice and Partey in the double pivot, and then up number 10 role we can slot in Havertz. All right, that would.
Why is your captain? In that your nice plan you have made for
that's what I'm saying. As I said, I don't expect him to be a starter. I don't expect him to bench Odegaard. We do know that Havertz can play the number 10 role. But Mikel Arteta has this thing about versatility.
Yes.
If you look at the players who have been signed by Arsenal, he can play two positions. And I think maybe Rice we might see Rice play on the left side, that Xhaka role, which I don't think it will work, but he might play there at some point. But Mateta wants Havertz to play that Xhaka role, which I think he'll struggle at first. But if he has that willingness to learn, then he will thrive.
Okay,
Whether
so-
that willingness is there is a big question.
So this
but
is-
yesterday, if you look at yesterday, there's no one who played well.
So let's do this so that we finish this conversation. Please talk to us if you can tell us, where do you guys see Kai Havertz fitting in this whole Arsenal thing? What is his role? Do you think does he start on the bench? And maybe is it a good thing that Arsenal now have strength in depth, or are they now like me when I am broke and then I have got 5,000 bob, so now I'm struggling to spend this money because it's too much?
Yes.
I think those are the two questions we must answer. Anyway, it's midday. When we come back, we talk about captaincy. Why are we talking about captaincy? Elijah wants to bench his captain, and United have removed captaincy from Maguire. So my question is, as we get into the second hour, how important is a captain in football? Does it even matter?
Yes.
Is it much hoopla about nothing, much ado about nothing? Does it matter to have a captain in football team? Is it that important really? Is it that important for Ten Hag to pick a captain? Does it really matter?
And Liverpool are selling theirs.
Exactly. So, how important is this whole captain story? We'll touch about the captain story because Harry Maguire has been demoted. We will also touch about what's happening with the Saudis, especially with Fulham. I like the Fulham case. It's very, very good. And we will get on to Mbappe. It's midday. Good afternoon, everyone.